All right, so we're recording. So, hey guys, happy Thursday.
Hello.
Welcome all to our Shred 10 call. If you're not muted, you might want to mute yourself just so we don't have a ton of background noise, and then you can unmute if you need to chat. But I want to welcome everybody to our Shred 10 call. We have started to do these calls monthly, which is super exciting, so we can get people on that have been interested in the shred. You may have seen a lot of us post about it, and you've been curious on, what the heck is this Shred 10 thing? What do you guys do? What's involved? What comes with it? All of that great stuff. So that's why we decided to do these monthly calls, and it's a great way to get everybody together, to hear some stories of some past shredders, to just learn more about the program, and then to be able to ask questions in person, because sometimes texting back and forth isn't always so fun. So it's always good to be in front of somebody's face to ask questions. So welcome everybody. We're going to try to keep the call to 30 minutes because I know it's late for a lot of people and people want to get to bed. So I just want to tell you a little bit about myself first. My name is Allison. I am married to a wonderful husband named Scott. Yeah, we've been married for 18 years. I have two kids, a 13 and a 14-year-old. My daughter's a freshman in high school and my son is in 7th grade. And my health journey started about 7 years ago. One morning I woke up and I had severe neck pain that never went away. I tried everything. I went to doctors, I went to specialists, I had an MRI done, I had x-rays done, you name it, massage, acupuncture, nothing was working. I spent a little over 2 years with chronic neck pain, and it was a not so fun time in my life for sure. And, it came to the point where doctors, they were just telling me, we can't find anything wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. They would tell me I'm stressed. It was all sorts of things. So I decided I needed to become my own doctor and started doing my own research. And I started seeing a naturopath and a chiropractor at the time, who both had started mentioning to me some food elimination. And at the time, I, wanted to try anything at that time. So I tried eliminating gluten at one point, and it would help maybe a little bit, but my pain was still there. I tried dairy for a while, same thing. It would help like just a teeny bit, but the pain was still there. So one point, my chiropractor came to me and said, you need to eliminate everything and see what happens. And I was like, what do you mean I need to eliminate everything? He's like, I want you to eliminate gluten. I want you to eliminate dairy, sugar, all these inflammatory foods I want you to eliminate at the same time. And I was like, there's no possible way I can do that. I love food. I love my bread. I love my pasta. I love my cheese. How can you be telling me to get rid of all this stuff? But at the same time, I was at my wit's end and needed to try something. So I did a 21-day quote unquote detox. And for the first time in 2.5 years, my neck pain completely disappeared. It was a miracle to me. I felt fantastic. But then I lived in denial, right? I didn't want to think that food was what was the cause for my pain. So I started eating all those foods again. The pain would come back. I would take it away and the pain would go away. And I went through this for probably about a year to a year and a half until finally one day I woke up and I said, okay, this is it. It's the food. This is what's causing all the inflammation in my body. And it's time for me to make, a long-term lifestyle change, something that I need to stick with for the rest of my life, because who wants to be in pain for the rest of their life, right? So, I was feeling pretty good with my pain, but there was still something missing in my life. I was still getting sick all the time. About 3 years ago, at the age of 40, I got mono, which if you ever got mono at the age of 40, it is not fun at all. I was getting sinus infections all the time. I was getting sore throats. I'm sorry, my phone's ringing. Someone got it. Thank you. I was getting sore throats. Sorry, guys. I was getting sick all the time. Again, ear infections, sore throats. I had colds all the time. And I felt tired still all the time. And again, people would tell me, oh, you have little kids, you're going to be tired. And I was grumpy. I wasn't happy. I wasn't feeling my best, and I knew something was missing. So About a year and a half ago, I was following Becky, who's on our line tonight. I was following Becky, and I saw her post about Juice Plus, which we'll talk about later, and also the Shred10, and I got really curious about it. Skeptical, but curious at the same time. So I talked to her about it. She told me about it, and I immediately fell in love with the guidelines of the Shred10 because they were all in line with my values at the time. It was eating clean. It was not putting any chemicals or processed foods into your body. And I was like, this could work for me. And then just adding in tons of fruits and vegetables, which I knew at the time was totally missing from my, quote unquote diet. It was missing from my diet at the time. You can eat foods that are not inflammatory, but that doesn't mean that you're eating all of the best foods for your body. And that I knew something was missing for me. So I decided to try the Shred10. And, after doing those 10 days, the first thing, my husband and I both did it. The first thing I noticed was my energy. I was waking up in the morning, with no alarm. And I was like, okay, every morning it's time to get up. And I felt great all day long. I had more energy during the day. My moods were, I was a happier person. I just felt really great. My moods were better. My skin was better. My husband, after being on it for a while, he has IBS issues. His IBS issues went away. I can tell you a little bit about my kids because, again, we're going to talk about the Juice Plus products. But my kids, of course, they didn't do the shred, but they started on the products. My son, who's been constipated his entire life, no longer has those issues. My daughter's energy, she's a busy girl. So my daughter's energy has gotten way better. And she wakes up in the morning ready for school every morning. Their focus is better. And none of us have been on antibiotics ever since we started on the products, which is like huge because especially for my kids, because my kids with their ear infections and strep throat and all of this stuff, we've been on no antibiotics. So all in all, this program, I was introduced through the Shred10 program, and it has pretty much been life-changing for me. So what is the Shred10? That's what everybody's here for, right? Everybody wants to know what the guidelines of the Shred10 are. So the Shred10 is 10 days of not shredding 10 pounds in 10 days, but 10 days of shredding unhealthy habits. And we all have these habits that we get used to, and we want to find these healthier lifestyles. We want to feel better. We want to feel healthier. So that's what the program is designed to do. It's designed to teach you to live a long-term healthy lifestyle and to get into these good habits. So during those 10 days, we're eliminating a bunch of things. We're eliminating gluten. That's the first thing we're eliminating. We're also eliminating dairy, and we're eliminating any processed sugar. So we find that a lot of these foods are very inflammatory for our body. So, for me, they cause neck pain. For other people, they may cause other joint pain. They can cause you to not sleep well. They can cause you to have skin issues. They can cause you to have mood issues. There's lots of things that inflammatory foods can do that we actually don't realize that they're doing because we become so used to the way we feel on a daily basis. So until we eliminate these foods, we just don't know how great our bodies can feel. So we're eliminating those three things. We're also eliminating alcohol during the 10 days, which I know can be tough for a lot of people. Everybody's used to having their wine on the weekend or their wine when they come home, but we really want to see how our bodies feel off of these stimulants and off the alcohol for the 10 days. We're also eliminating caffeine, which I know can be really tough for people too. You're used to that morning coffee. You get up in the morning and you're like, oh, I'm so tired. I can't start my day until I have my coffee. But what you learn during these 10 days is that you really, your body is used to having that caffeine, and so it thinks it needs it in the morning, but what your body really needs is food. Your body needs food for fuel to keep you going throughout the day. So once your body gets used to not having that caffeine and having the food, you don't have that afternoon slump during the day where all of a sudden at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you feel like you need to have another cup of coffee to get yourself through the rest of the day. So again, we give our bodies the chance to really feel really see how it feels off the stimulants and off of these inflammatory foods. Also during the 10 days, we are drinking a ton of water. So we're staying hydrated, right? That's a big problem for a lot of us, is keeping hydrated, especially during these winter months when it's so cold. Like, who wants to drink a cold glass of water? I know it's really hard for me. During the summer, I'm drinking, but during the winter, it's really hard. So we're staying hydrated. We're exercising, getting in exercising almost every day. Trying to get in sleep. Sleep is so important. I don't know if anybody else, I know for me, I've realized these past couple of years how sleep affects me when I don't get enough sleep. I know for my body, I need about 7 hours of sleep. It's usually around 7 to 8 hours that our bodies need. And again, with that energy during the day, for me, having energy from my workouts, just being a happier person during the day. So sleep is so important. So we try to get in those 7 to 8 hours, and just to give your body rest, right? To give your body time to digest the food that you've eaten during the day, and just give it time away from all the foods that you've eaten during the day. So we're doing 7 to 8 hours of sleep, and we are also trying to stop all of our eating around 6 o'clock at night. So again, like I just talked about the sleep, that's to give your body time to digest before you go to bed. A lot of times people will eat and then go to bed, and what you'll probably notice is you sleep a lot better if you stop eating earlier, and you feel better when you wake up, right? Because our bodies have had that time, that they've had that rest time. People notice they don't feel as bloated when they wake up in the morning if you haven't eaten late. I know for me, if I eat late, I wake up a ton during the night. I just don't sleep well. So that allows for digestion, rest, and better sleep. So we've got that too. So those are pretty much the guidelines. Again, I'll just review it again. So we're eliminating gluten, we're eliminating dairy, we're eliminating any processed sugar. So we didn't really get into the sugars, but anything with added sugar to it. If you're not a label reader, you'd be very surprised how much sugar sneaks into our diet on a daily basis. It shows up in tomato sauce. It shows up in, even if you're having gluten-free breads, it shows up in gluten-free breads. It shows up everywhere. So it's becoming mindful of what you're actually putting into your body and starting to really learn and read labels. This is a learning process. We don't expect people to be perfect during these 10 days, right? It's a journey. So it's all about progress, not perfection. So gluten, dairy, processed sugars. We're also eliminating caffeine and alcohol. And we are adding in a ton of water to stay hydrated. We're adding in exercise. We're making sure we get our 7 to 8 hours of sleep, and then stop eating around 6. I always kind of say 6:30 the latest, because I know sometimes that 6 o'clock cutoff can be tough for people. But those are the guidelines. So the last thing that we're adding in is our Juice Plus products, which Julie's going to talk about a little bit more, but I'll just show them here. So we're adding in our Juice Plus capsules daily. These are fruits and vegetables. And then we're adding in 2 shakes a day. So we have our Juice Plus smoothies come in chocolate and vanilla. So we're adding in 2 shakes a day during the day. Those can be added in as a snack. They can be added in as a meal. For me personally, I do one as a snack and one as a meal. So the big thing you want to make sure when you're doing this program is that you're eating food. This is not a program where you're having supplements all day long. This is about eating real food, eating real, whole, unprocessed food, and just learning how to eat healthier, and then adding in tons of fruits and vegetables on top of that, and superfoods, and just fueling your body with a whole lot of goodness. So I am going to pass it off to Julie. She's going to talk about our Juice Plus products. You can unmute yourself, Jules.
There we go. Hi, everybody. I am Julie, like I said, or like Allison said, and I got into Juice Plus from both Becky and Allison, and I cannot be grateful enough for what this has done for me and my family. But here we go. This is the Orchard Blend, Garden Blend, and Vineyard Blend. Okay, these are the capsules. The capsules are real food. They have a nutrition label. If you look at the back, they're all totally backwards, but all a nutrition label. It's not a vitamin or a supplement with a warning. Okay, and that's the biggest difference, I think, that I love about this product is it's a nutrition label. This is real food in a capsule. Okay, well, how it's made is there are 30 different fruits and vegetables with the trio. There's 30 different fruits and vegetables that are vine ripened and picked at their peak. They are then dried, juiced like a cold pressed juice, and dried at a temperature safe enough to keep all the nutrients in there, but also release some of the sugars. And then that dried powder is put into the capsules. They are non-GMO. They are gluten-free, dairy-free, egg-free, wheat-free, caffeine-free, and herb-free. No artificial colors and no preservatives. They are bioavailable, which means they go right into your bloodstream. I don't know if you've taken vitamins before, but with a lot of vitamins you take, you have this fluorescent green pee afterwards. You don't get it with these. You don't pee any of it out. It goes right into your bloodstream and starts doing great stuff right away. The complete shakes, as Al said, they are chocolate and vanilla. These are the big pouches. So Allison had showed the individual packets. You can get either. Okay, those are the individual packets. These are the pouches. What these are is these contain 8 grams of fiber, soluble and insoluble. So a lot of fiber in them, but they're non-GMO, gluten-free, dairy-free. They're low glycemic. They're filled with fruits, veggies, superfoods. They taste really good. I had tried a few other protein powders before, and this is by far my favorite. And my daughter, my 7-year-old daughter who loves them, even noticed a difference when I had a few shakes left of another brand. Once we started these, she wouldn't eat those anymore. But in them, you get things like chickpea powder, pea protein, alfalfa sprout, radish sprout, organic amaranth, quinoa, millet. There is pumpkin powder, pomegranate powder, spirulina powder, yucca powder, mushroom powder. So tons of good stuff loaded in these as well. So I think, did I get everything?
Yeah, I think you did. So thanks, Julie. Yeah, so we add in our Juice Plus capsules daily, and then we're adding in 2 shakes a day. So those are the last guidelines to the shred. So I'm going to pass it off to Robin. Robin's going to share her shred story.
Hi guys, I'm Robin. I'm a mom of 2 kids, a 10-year-old and a 12-year-old, and I've been married for 16 years to my husband, and we live in Wyndham. And I got introduced to the Shred10 through Allison, who used to be my old Pilates teacher, and I see her, she's in the same town, so I see her a lot around town. And, whenever I see Allison, I think of healthy, she's like the pillar of health, and, I trusted her. So she had posted about the Shred10. And the reason why I was looking for something was because I was having health issues. I was having migraines every month that were debilitating, really bad GI issues, insomnia, which was really bad. I hadn't slept through the night in 10 years. And that started with the birth of my daughter because she didn't sleep. So that got me off on a bad pattern. And I also started getting joint pain in my wrist and my knees. And I went to my doctor, and my doctor was like, you need to see a specialist to figure out what's going on. And being a nurse, I knew what I needed to do. I needed to clean up my diet first. But I just didn't have the discipline or the guidance or the community to do that. So when I saw the Shred10, I said, you know what, I'm going to do this. This is something that I really should try. And I did it, and the sense of community within the Shred10 group was phenomenal. Everybody is there to help you, and there's people that have done 1,000,000 shreds, and there's people that are brand new, and there's recipes, guidance, advice. It's just a great, great community, and that really got me through those 10 days. And within those 10 days, I noticed on the 8th day, I think it was, I woke up in the morning. It was the first time I had slept through the night in 10 years. And it was just amazing. It was life-changing. So my sleep was improved, my mood, my skin, my energy level. Everything was just so much better. So I learned that I needed to change. This wasn't just a diet, it was a lifestyle change. So in doing this program, I learned what foods work for me now and what foods don't. And that was huge for me, like being an adult and basically relearning what works with your body and what doesn't. And in addition, we use the Juice Plus products, which are amazing. I have my whole family on them. My son makes himself a shake every morning. My kids are all on the vitamins and supplements. My husband's done the shred with me a couple times. He's noticed a huge difference. The kids actually ask now if I start to get a little bit moody. They'll be like, when's your next shred coming up? Because it really does make that much of a difference. So it's been wonderful. And I can also say I've gotten pneumonia every single year. It's been like my yearly sickness, and I didn't get pneumonia this year. And we haven't been sick. And my son, who's an asthmatic, hasn't needed his inhaler. My daughter's hair is growing like crazy. She said her skin's better. So it's just, I could go on and on about the benefits, but this really was life-changing for me. It really put things in, perspective for me and helped to guide me in what I needed to do and started my health journey. And I'm just so passionate about it because it's been so amazing for myself and my family. And I want to share that with everyone. So that's where I'm at.
Thank you, Robin. I always love hearing your story. I know the sleep part was huge for you.
Huge. I think I cried on that morning because it was just so amazing. I just couldn't believe that I had actually slept through the night. And I'm on day 10 of the shred that we just did now. And I love it. I go to bed and I know I'm going to get a full night's sleep, and I wake up and it's just a great feeling.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's funny because you say, your kids know when you haven't, when you need to shred. And
right.
My family's the same way. When I start eating gluten and all of that stuff, I get so moody. And even my husband will be like, you need to, get back on the clean food. So thank you so much. Dawn, I'm going to pass it off to you.
Hi, everybody. I'm Dawn Veris. I have known Allison for some time now through CrossFit Free. Like her, I'm very into health, into fitness. I'm actually a personal trainer. I've been working out pretty consistently since 2012. I myself, I've been with my husband for 18 years, but we've been married for 8. We have an 8-year-old son and an 8-year-old son and a 6-year-old girl. And I have sort of a different story, which Allison knows, because we had already removed processed foods from our diets. We actually, I kind of went crazy last year, and we removed a lot of synthetic chemicals from our household, which I was finding was really a deterrent for us. My husband has really bad asthma. My daughter wasn't constipated all the time, but it was like a monthly, quarterly thing that sometimes we would see, and we would chalk it up to her eating too many bananas. Until the month we didn't have any bananas, and she still got it. But for me, like Robin, I trusted Allison. We've been part of the same community for a while, and I'd seen her post about it. So she had sent me some links about it. I was actually looking for a plant-based protein. I sort of did the plant-based protein tour, and I have tried other proteins, but with removing also dairy from my family, the whey started to bother me, and I didn't realize that until about a year after removing it. It wasn't right away, but as soon as that started, I sort of went on the tour, and I had asked Allison about it. She gave me a sample, and like Julie said, they're amazing. I hand out scoops of it at the gym I work for, like it's candy. So for me, it was a little bit different. For me, I really did a lot of research into it before I jumped on board with Allison. But what hit home for me was knowing how healthy I already was, knowing how healthy my family were. My kids have been eating pretty healthy since they were born. I've been ridiculed for quite some time about how clean and healthy they eat. And, they're not deprived by any means. They certainly get their goldfish here and there. They can have their cake at their friend's birthday party. But I just really wanted to start them on the right foot with nutrition. And it's a conversation we have a lot. They're very aware. When they have cravings, they know it's usually something that they're lacking, and it's usually a vegetable. So for me, the biggest thing for me was bridging that gap, knowing that no matter how much kale and spinach I ate or how many vegetables and fruits and vegetables I got into my kids, there was still something lacking. And so I tried it and I said, you know what, that really would give me the peace of mind of sending my kids to school knowing that when they get to the Boys and Girls Club and they have the Pop-Tart that makes me cringe, it's okay because they're already consistently eating pretty healthy. And it just made me feel a lot better knowing that, you know, like Allison, it wasn't a shred program for me, but when I wasn't detoxing or when I wasn't consistently on my meal nutrition plan, that it was still okay because I was still getting not only the amount that I'm supposed to, but the array. You know, there is not a farm or a McKinnon's or a Whole Foods that can give us the array of the 30 fruits and vegetables that we get from the Juice Plus. So there is just nothing that compares to that. And Allison knew I had already removed synthetic chemicals, which included any of those vitamins because they were processed. They had the yellow blue, this blue 7 or whatever it is. And as soon as I did that, I noticed an immediate change for my children. So I knew that removing that and then adding this additional amount of vegetables and fruits and vegetables, that it would make all the difference. So I don't have an ailment to really talk about. I will say, actually, I started to send you a message today, Allison, and it got too close to the time, so I figured I'd save it. But I went to New Mexico in August and had a little bit of what I thought was heartburn. I'd never had heartburn before. I'm Mexican. I can eat anything, and it never bothers me. And I just thought it was because I was in New Mexico. You eat a lot of cheese. I was having a lot of white bread, which I had not had a lot. And when I returned home and I wasn't eating that stuff, it didn't really go away. And I wasn't on Juice Plus at the time. So I had seen my doctor, again, chalked it up to stress. And the only reason I bring that up is because, as I mentioned before, I'm sort of going through this house demo. So my house is disheveled. So it hasn't been as easy for me to get into my kitchen and meal prep like I'd like. So I've been making clean choices, but I haven't been Shred10 approved. And so when I started that, I think this should have been my third shred, which I wasn't able to do. But by the second shred, the first shred was really good. I was completely dedicated. My second shred was a little bit off. I really tried to focus more on sleep because that was my biggest challenge for my first one. But recently, I've had like that heartburn come back. And yes, I know I'm going to the demo and it's probably a little bit of stress. But my husband said, because I got those cute little pill things with mine, so it's already all planned out, and I got my husband on it too, and he's like, we haven't been taking our Juice Plus because we're living out of our living room right now instead of our bedroom, and it was always on the nightstand. So it was just a different routine for us, and I was like, oh my gosh, you're right. And I had seen the doctor on the 5th who had asked me about it, and he said again, oh, it just coincidentally there's a stomach bug going away, and I tend to think that I have the immune system of a bull, like literally nothing bothers me. And I was like, yep, you're right. It's going around. Maybe this is, my taste of it. I'm not throwing up, but that's the extent of it. But then when my husband said that on Monday, like you had told me the last party at your house, I doubled and tripled up really quick. And he had caught a cold. And so I said, no, we're doubling and we're tripling up. Allison said, it's okay. We can do that. I had never even thought to do that before because, again, your mind is just programmed to think that anything in a capsule should be limited. But because it's a whole food, we are able to do that. So there's a lot of debris and dust going around in my house. So I've actually been doubling up for quite a few days now. And it's made all the difference. It's gone completely. I called my doctor back and told him it's gone. And I have to disagree. I don't think it's the stomach bug. I think it's because my house has been disheveled. I have not been eating the way I should be. And now that I at least know where I'm going to be sleeping in my living room, we've tried to bring some normalcy back into it. But I think the biggest thing, honestly, is being back on my capsules and the shakes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I can't credit it to anything else. I mean, also in getting back on my nutrition. But I was like Robin, I was like, wow, like it really is true. I didn't have an ailment to sort of guide me through being on the product, but now seeing that I am on it and that GI went away immediately as soon as it was like day 2. I woke up yesterday and was like, wow, this is really it. I knew it.
That's awesome. Thank you, Dawn. Yeah, I think it's really great. I think a lot of us, or both Robin and Dawn, you both talked about we talk about our kids, like, you know, how our kids are on it. I love this product because I love that it's safe for the entire family. I'm not putting anything into my body, into my kid's body that I wouldn't put into my own body. And again, we do that too. If we feel something coming on, you can double up, you can triple up, because it really is just, as Julie said, it's real food. It has a food label on it, not a supplement label. So I love the quality. I love the science backed behind it. There's just a lot of great things about it. But I wanted to end quickly by just talking about, I think Robin mentioned the community of the Shred, because I think that's a big part of what the Shred10 is for us, and what I think a lot of us love about the Shred so much is our community. So we do have a private Facebook page where we add everybody in, everybody's part of it. Once you're on the page, you're never off the page. So every month we have new people coming in every month, asking new questions, sharing new recipes, and all this great stuff. We have a blast, and people share all the great things that are happening, and people share things that they might be struggling with a little bit. You know, it's there for inspiration. It's there for support. It's there for ideas. We post during those 10 days and usually 5 days before to get everybody prepped. We post every single day on there. And, you know, we do provide a lot of great information. There's people from all over the world on this page, which is so cool, because no matter where you are in the world, someone's awake and someone's there to answer your questions. So it's fantastic. If I'm asleep, I've got somebody else that's awake answering questions. So we work as a team, and it's funny. Someone said today, and I loved it. It was so true, that once somebody becomes a shredder, it's almost like they're part of a family, and they start answering questions for new shredders, which is so great because they've been through it and they feel like they're part of this group. So I love, love, love the community and the support of the Shred. I think out of everything, that is my absolute favorite piece of the Shred. So I do love that group. We do have some cookbook guides. I'm apparently not very prepared. They're right next to me up here and I cannot reach them. So I'm going to go grab them. Hold on one second. Sorry guys, technical difficulties. So we have a Shred cooking guide, and then so we have two Shred guides. We have a regular Shred guide that goes through everything you need to know about the Shred. There's questions and answers. There's why do we not eat past 6 o'clock? Why do we eliminate caffeine and alcohol? It's all those questions that you want answered. We also have videos and things like that we can send. We also have this great Shred cooking guide. It's filled with tons of, I can show you here, tons of recipes that come with it. These are all emailed to you, so they're all online. And then we also have another cookbook. We have this Healthy Living Revolution cookbook. So we give you tons of ideas, tons of recipe ideas, tons of shake ideas. And then on top of that, on the Facebook page, we have everybody sharing their recipes. People are taking pictures of what they're eating. They're taking pictures of their shakes. They're sharing new recipes, sharing ideas. So there's tons of support. And, you know, we give you shopping lists and all that great stuff. So that's really it with the Shred. Does anybody have any questions? Anybody on the line have any questions? Anybody? Anything else anybody else wants to add?
That was great, guys. That was really thorough, very informative. I don't think you left a stone unturned. That was awesome.
Thanks, Becky. So, so just to finish off, our next Shred group, we have a current Shred group going on. They're on day 9, so they've got one more day to go. They're totally rocking it. They're doing fantastic. They started January 3rd, so it was a couple of days after New Year's, so kind of kicking off the new year. But we have another group starting on January 29th. That's a Monday, and that's our February shred. Since February is a short month, we're starting a little bit early. So February 29th is our next shred. So if it is something that you're interested, you want to get in touch with the person that invited you to the call, or if you're watching it later, who sent you the recording of the call. And we would get you all set up, and we'd be super excited to see you added to our Facebook page. So if nobody has any questions, we're going to end the call there. I'm going to stop the recording.